If you're tired by the third quarter, if your legs die on defense, and when your bounce disappears when the game matters most, you don't need more suicide. You need smarter conditioning that actually makes you better. Let me show you how real hoopers, like professional athletes that work with me, to build game-ready lungs. If you don't already know, basketball is interval-based. It's stop and go, short bursts of speed, reset, and most hoopers are training like it's a marathon. Long running, long jogging, random suicides, no structure, and all that just makes you tired, not better. So let's change that. Real conditioning has 3 goals. The first one here is going to be doing more. What I mean by doing more is playing more minutes, being in more actions, and more plays. The second one here is feeling less tired when you play. So what I mean by that is you're going to produce the same amount of workload, but you're going to feel a lower fatigue. And thirdly here is playing better when you're tired. So there's 0 drop off in skill, defense, or bounce when you are playing in the game. And all these goals demand structure and not punishment. Here's what actually works, and I use this with my hoopers weekly. The first one here is going to be EMOMs with sprints. So basically, let's say we set up 20-meter sprint. After 20 meters at maybe 70 to 80% of that intensity, you're going to have the rest of the minute off. And you might be doing this for 10 minutes straight, 15 minutes straight, or 20 minutes straight. The second one here, which is my favorite, is the sled push-pull. So pulling the sled backwards and pushing the sled forward. And this is going to not only build your engine, which is going to be your conditioning, but also your knees. So it will really be very, very helpful in terms of your knee joints, your knee health, and building up those quads and glutes, especially during in-season. The third one here is a contrast training, but for the contrast training here is going to be sprints plus iso holds. So maybe after you finish the sprint, right, straight after that, we're going to be doing maybe a 30 to 45 second iso hold, whether it is in using like the spring ankle series that Caldees uses. And I find this to be very, very helpful, not only to improve on their top end speed or acceleration mechanics and ability to have a better first step, but right after that, we're also accumulating some fatigue within it to help with their conditioning. And the last one here, the 4x4 or the 5x5, which I've taken in from Dr. Ramsey Nijem. He is a great strength and conditioning coach who was working with the Sacramento Kings in his earlier days. And what he basically does is, if it's 4 laps, right, it's basically 4 laps, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, from baseline down to baseline. And after that, you're gonna basically be resting for the rest of the minute off. So 30 seconds off, depending on how long you need to kind of go from baseline to baseline. And you're gonna be doing that 4 times. And after that, you're gonna rest for 2 to 3 minutes before you do 4 more times. So that's going to be for the 4x4. Quick interruption here. If you're getting bumped off the ball, can't hold your ground, and deep down you know you're not athletic enough, this ends now. Grab the free 3-week system that builds real bounce, strength, and defense. Test it with pros. Link is below, and back to the video. But for the 5x5, it's going to be much more difficult. So instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, right, for baseline to baseline, you're gonna do 5. So after 1, 2, 3, 4, right, you're gonna do the 5th one there, and then you're gonna rest for the remaining time, or maybe rest for 30 seconds, and you're gonna be repeating that for 5 times. And after that, you're gonna rest for 2 to 3 minutes before you repeat that for 5 sets. This isn't just conditioning. It's joint protection, recovery, and building confidence under fatigue. So you might be wondering how I should program all of these into my program right now. If I were you, let's say if you're in the early off season, I'll definitely do some EMOM sprints where you can be going 70 to 80% sprint, right, intensity. And the EMOM sprint is going to be very, very good, not only to work on the acceleration mechanics, but also that conditioning factor. And then for example, like the contrast sprint training, that can be also done during the off season. It's really, really good. And I find it to be pretty helpful with some of the athletes that I work with. And then let's say for the sled push-pull, I always do it within the warm-up when I do my weight training. And this is only going to be for 3 to 5 minutes. Super, super simple. But because it's purely concentric, you're not going to be getting any soreness and DOMs from it. This is a really, really good to just get all of the muscles fired up. And it's actually really, really good in season, especially because it actually helps you to maintain some of that muscle mass that is super important, especially when you get into the postseason, because having a higher amount of muscle mass will be actually equated to having a reduced chance of injury. And finally, for the 5x5 or the 4x4, when it's during the preseason, that's when you really want to get into sport-specific mode, and you definitely want to do these on the basketball court as much as possible. But more than all of those just conditioning drills, the best thing is definitely playing your damn sport. Whether it is basketball, football, American football, or tennis, you really, really want to get your conditioning reps on the basketball court playing 5x5, 3x3, one-on-one, right? And you won't be getting a similar stimulus compared to you playing 5-on-5 all out against your teammates, against another team in a friendly game, compared to you just running conditioning from baseline to baseline. This is all structured inside our 3-week defense, bio, and strength program. The defense plus mobility work to help you move smoother on the court, the conditioning to be able to last longer during games, and strength and plows to hit harder in the weight room and jumping higher. And yes, we make it super competitive because buy-in equals results. If you're tired of being tired, if you want to move well defensively, play harder, and stay healthy all season long, tap the link below for my free 3-week gains chamber program. It's built for hoopers who want the next level athletic edge. Don't wait till you're benched to fix your engine. The athletes who play the longest are the ones who train the smartest. Let's stop guessing, let's start preparing.